Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday, April 8th, and welcome to a special edition of Between Two Guitars. As always, I'm your host, Merrill Needham, and welcome to the show. As always, we here at Between Two Guitars are trying to become YouTube's new home for all things rock and roll, where we, in our regular shows, will talk about concerts, new releases, reissues, gear reviews, you name it. And then we try to kind of change things up a little bit. So if there's anything that you want to see in a regular episode, please leave a comment. Please also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons as well. The more subscribers I get, the more fun stuff that we can do. Well, like I said at the top, this is a special episode or special report or whatever we want to call it, because we had the regular weekly episode just the other day. The reason for the show is the finally release of the new Tool album, Fear Inoculum, on vinyl. So although the album itself came out right before the pandemic started, back, I think it was February of 2020. God, it's been a long time ago. But the album was released CD only. Well, not just CD only, because they, just before the album Fear Inoculum came out, they finally allowed their music onto streaming services such as Spotify, Apple Music, which I use, and many of the other streaming services. So all of their records are available there. And then there were a couple of limited releases of the CD of the new album, Fear Inoculum, but then nothing else. And there was just nothing that the band said. One reason for it, if we've talked about this on the channel before, is that Apollo Masters, which was one of two factories in the world that made the lacquers or the plastic discs that are used to make the master copies of vinyl albums. Well, one of two places in the world burned to the ground. And that was the one here in the United States. The other one is in Japan. So the place that's in Japan is now doing 100% of it until another facility can get up and running. And slowly but surely these things are happening. And although there's not been official word from anybody within the industry as far as when we'll see more capacity for those lacquers. Part of the reason for that is that it can take up to a year in some cases for projects to be completed. And when you have something that is, as I guess you could say, almost as insane as what I'm going to show you here, being able to produce something like this on the mass scale was going to take a little bit of time. So here we are, a little more than 2 years later after the music was released, and we're finally getting a vinyl copy. Now, this was actually first shown, if you follow Adam Jones on Instagram, he actually did an unboxing a little more than a month ago, and there's been some things leaked on the internet. The album has also been for sale in a signed version for about $800 at Tool shows towards the end of that tour, which I think just ended like a week or two ago. This copy, the retail price is $179. Now, I will say this, I did not pay that. One of the nice things about having a very large record collection is that every now and again I may grab a few and trade some in for another, because I just can't see paying $200 for one record. Especially so because although this looks like a box set, and it is a box set, there are only 9 individual tracks, and only five of them actually have lyrics. So Maynard is only singing on 5 songs. So what this basically is a 5-record set, and we'll take a look at it here once you get it. And for starters, for those of you that may have the CD, the cover is actually different than what you got on the older CD or what you may see in your Apple Music portfolio. Looks like something that was taken with an electron microscope, like a drop of water or something, but who knows what it could be. Alex Gray, again, did all the artwork, and man, he's just amazing. So that's going to be the outer cover, and then what you get is you get this book. And what I'll do is that I'll come a little closer for you guys, just so you can see. There's the outer cover, and when you get it, for starters, this is a black piece of construction paper with some holes punched into it. I'm wondering kind of what it might have to do with this, but because there's one of the things about Tool, in all of the albums that they released, there's a lot of interesting stuff that they've done, even going back to the Anima days, which is also how you can tell if it's an authorized release. So so from there, what you're getting is you're getting a whole bunch of artwork, and I'll just show you a couple of those things there. Then you get pictures of the band members, Justin Chancellor, bass player, Danny Carey, greatest drummer alive. And then there's Maynard, Keenan, and Adam Jones, and then there's some more lyrics. So now when we get into the albums, and we'll show this to you, every album, there is only sound on one side. The other side, and I think if you can see it here, there's some etching there. And there's a different etching on all 5 of the records. So let's go ahead and put that away, get back here. Now, one other thing that's kind of interesting, that I noticed this when we got the album, is for the first time, and I don't know if they did this for the CD release, but they have actually released song and lyrics. And what's kind of interesting, I just wanted to read this to you because, one thing to have a little bit of fun. And, Tool is one of my favorite bands. You all that have been watching the show for a while can see that that's a Lateralis poster from the original UK tour that they did right when Lateralis came out. One of the great things about Tool is that the lyrics have always been open to interpretation, and up until now, they didn't really include a lot of song lyrics. So you had to really listen in order to get what Maynard was saying. And then I think maybe because of that, and Tool fans can be an interesting lot, and there are a number of Tool fans, or we'll say that, because this goes back to the 90s and early 2000s when they were making music a little more frequently. That, you always have that friend who's that uber Tool fan that hangs on everything Maynard says, like you would put him up there somewhere between Albert Einstein and Nostradamus. And there were websites that were just dedicated to just going through everything that, every lyric that he has and what the hidden meanings were. Not just Bob Dylan there, folks. But, and the reason why I bring that up is that I just kind of want to read some song lyrics here for you. This is the title track for Inoculum. Immunity, long overdue. Contagion, I exhale you. Naive, I opened up to you. Venom and mania. Now contagion, I exhale you. And then I fear the venom in what you say. Inoculated, bless this immunity. Now, this album came out before COVID, y'all. So I'm bringing this up almost in a way to maybe warn the rest of us that there may be a few Tool fans that... But anyway, I think it's actually kind of interesting and kind of funny in a way that, the title track of an album that came out literally a month or two before COVID hit that some of the lyrics can actually really apply to what's going on. Another track on this that I want to go into some of the lyrics is the song Invincible, which in a way is kind of important to me. As someone like the members of the band, we're not in our 20s or 30s anymore. We're getting a little older. And the song is actually kind of about that guy that's just kind of wants to go out and do it one more time. You know, one more victory lap, one more year in the big leagues. I know in my personal life, some of those things are happening. Actually, in my professional life, I'm kind of going back into a world that I had left, and I'm really excited. You know, kind of one more, again, for me, one more trip around the sun. We'll see kind of how it goes, but I will say this, with this album, the music is amazing. They took several years to actually record it, and it shows. And although the songs are very long, I mean, this is a prog album. This is what Tool has become. They are not the band that released Opiate, and they are not the band that released Undertow. In fact, they're not all the same band members, a different bass player. But the songs have been getting longer. I guess you could say the subject matter kind of lends itself more to the prog world anyway. And that's really what Tool is that they are a heavy prog band. Kind of like Dream Theater, but the music is completely different, naturally. And what you're getting with modern day Tool are songs that are 8, 9, 10, 11 minutes long, but unlike, say, Iron Maiden, we'll throw out, you really don't notice the length of some of these songs, where some of the stuff that on Maiden's recent release, Shenjutsu, you could kind of tell that some of these songs were going on and everybody had to have their guitar solo. You know, this is, you know, every note that Tool plays serves the song. There's no musical jerking off here. It's a fantastic album. I actually would have probably rated it higher when I did my 2020 review, just because I was mad that it hadn't come out on vinyl yet. But now that it has, and I've had a chance to listen to it on my system, man, it's worth it. I can't personally justify spending $180 cash. I was lucky to have other records that I could trade. I can tell you that I went and I got them down at Noble Records. If you're interested, here in the drop, and it probably won't though be till next week, he's getting a whole bunch of Shinedown, some Gorillas, some Night Ranger, and a few others. So definitely check out Noble Records out in Matthews, and I'll put a link to their page down in the description. But the album's out. That Noble where we got them, he bought plenty. I'm sure they've also got them at Lunchbox. You can also get them on Amazon. They're available now. Hopefully we'll maybe see some reissues of some of the other stuff. Maybe Anima will get a larger release, and then Saliva will get a proper vinyl release. Those actually have to be remastered for vinyl. Maybe that's already been done. Maybe they're waiting. We don't know yet, but I'll let you know when it happens. Until then, hope you enjoyed, I guess you could say, this special episode of Between the Two Guitars. If you liked it, please hit that like button, the subscribe button, and you guys have a great weekend. And as always, Gene, you don't know what you're talking about. Rock and roll's alive and kicking.